morning, country. Good morning, world, Philippines. The Filipino citizen, the Filipino nation, and of course, other country deserve better. Of course. Thus, when I assumed the presidency in 2016, I vowed to correct this. In 2017, I visited Russia for the first time. Although it was cut short, but I believe it led to meaningful and historic developments of our relations. When I say it was a cut short, I had to go home because Jimarawi, a city in Mindanao, particularly in the Philippines, was brewing, evolving into an endless violence. I'm talking about fairness and equality for a stable global order. The liberal global order built after the Second World War was the Pax Americana, appears to be under challenge as the 21st century unfolds. The legitimacy of this order is increasingly questioned, its appeal weakened, and its hold over countries diminished. As a president, I see two key factors that could explain this situation. The first one is a combination of exceptionalism and double standards that we have seen time and time, again and again, from the beginning of the very vanguards of this current order. The great Russian novelist Lev Tolstoy wrote, "All happy families are all alike. Every unhappy family is unhappy in its own way." This is the same line for nations and notions. Developing countries just like Philippines, with our own histories, face different challenges and in our problems that would require different sets of solutions. Yet, some so-called friends act like they know the problem or they know the answer and impervious to our economic and political conditions. They create rules, norms for almost everyone, and some refuse to be bound by the same. And even the Convention of the Human Rights and the Right of Children, they weaponize human rights oblivious to its damaging consequences to the very people they seek to protect. Closer to home, some of our partners have hurled unfair criticisms against my government about perceived excess in our fight against drugs. They say what they want to say to justify their preconceived notions. I'm not trying to understand that what truly is happening there in my country. Is this how friends treat each other? No, it is not. We have seen them backtrack from defense contracts over baseless apprehensions that we would use arms to violate human rights. Yet, you see the same countries supplying high-end weaponry to parties whose actually human rights record leaves so much to be desired. Me as a president, I only seek to protect our republic from those who wish to tear it apart. We only seek to curb criminality that corrodes the very structure of government. We only seek to build a credible defense against those who might be tempted to violate our territorial integrity. By their acts, they weaken my government's ability to law to law-abiding citizens from the outlaws. They limit our capacity to stop vicious cycle of internal conflict and underdevelopment. And they clip our wings, making it more difficult for us to effect meaningful change for our people. Now, let me ask you this. In what universe is the right justifiable or fair? Nowhere but in the self-contained bubbles of some societies that had the luxury of developing fast. We are tired of misguided and self-serving crusades of the few. It is the time that they are challenged. Let me be very clear. I am not against the United States or the West. The US is the only close friends in the Philippines. In fact, our only treaty ally. We have deep ties with the American people, forged by shared history and nourished by common values. America certainly can offer so much more to the world, especially in the Philippines. Let me stress, I am not against liberalism in politics as in the economy. Liberalism, to my mind, creates the best pathway to a just and fair society. For a thriving democracy like the Philippines, there is simply no other better alternative to a philosophy that puts premium on the freedom and dignity of the individual. Our issue is not the current global order, but rather the actions of certain actors that violate the very principle that underpin this order. What we seek, as I assume what Russian people and all nations also desire, fairness, equality, and mutual respect. That's what we want. We want a strengthened rules-based order where countries, it's either big or small, are treated the same. We want an unimpeded freedom guaranteed by our Constitution to exercise our right to govern ourselves as a people and as we saw it fit. And we want friends and partners to respect our independence to make sovereign decisions just as we respect theirs. We all have a stake in a stable global order. In this period of flux, it is important that we expand our notion of ourselves to include others. That we choose the enduring power of persuasion over coercion, and that we follow the path of peace in order to achieve our shared and noble aspiration for all our peoples and for our countries. We only wish peace for all countries and for all mankind. That's what I want as a president in the Philippines. Thank you and good day.